Welcome to the Starting Over Podcast. I'm your host, Edward Sheldon, aka Dark Logos. So this is a show where we look at the strategies, tactics, and mechanics behind the game of heroclix. It's Friday. It's like 9 a.m. And some of you might be like Dark Logos, why are you recording? Shouldn't you be at work? And I'm like, yeah, I should be at work, but I'm sick. Like, really sick. So, yeah, that's why I'm not at work right now. And I got some things to do. So I was just going to record this. This is going to be a brief show, not the full hour-long awesome that you all are used to. Just going to touch on a couple of things today. So, so let's get into it. First off, I'm right. I'm right. I'm so right. Remember that whole thing about ATAs in the comments a couple of weeks ago? They're like, they're not going to retire ATAs. Come on, man. Come on, Dark Logos. We know you know better than that. And I was like, look, man, they're going to retire them. They were talking about no more ATAs like Scarlet Witch and House of M. And I'm like, the moment that you do that, ATAs are gone. You might as well retire them if you're not going to continue to support them. And then that's what WizKids did in the past. And so, boom, here you get your no more ATAs. Now, the thing I don't like is they said they don't like the stacking ability that goes on in the game, that people are able to stack multiple game effects on one character, thus making that character, too complicated or, way more powerful than what they wanted it to be. And I mean, I understand that, but I still think that that's a little lame. If you're going to be targeting a more casual audience, then I'm going to be honest, special powers should never exist. That's it. But the issue is that special powers exist for the fact that you can create diversity. Now, some of those people might be like, what do you mean create diversity, Dark Logos? Let's go back to the past. So hyped for Samurai Jack. But if you rewind your heroclix timetable and you look at that time period between Sinister and Origin, ooh, buddy, that was a bad time. Well, it wasn't horrible, but it was a bad time. And the main reason it was a bad time was that everything was really predictable. Like, you could look at the dial more so than now and just be like, yeah, that's good, that's bad, that's good, that's bad. Like, do you have hypersonic speed and a 10 attack or higher? You're meta. Didn't matter what your damage output was, really. It's like, do you have a 10 or higher? You're meta. Running shot wasn't so much, running shot pulse wave wasn't so much of a thing. It was more like, can I get Nova Blast off and stuff like that. So, when we start looking in depth about that era of time, what was happening is that some players were just leaving because the game was getting boring. Excuse me. Anyway, and the game becoming boring just led folks to just say, like, look, there's only so many feats that you can have, and feats can only do so much. But when it comes down to the core powers of the game, some characters just, stat-wise are just way better. I mean, exponentially better. And, well, stat and power-wise are just exponentially better. As much as hypersonic has been reined in over the period of the game, it's still one of the best powers that everybody goes to from an offensive perspective. Because, making it so that you're not able to be hit, is a really strong ability. The ability to, like, go your full movement and, shoot somebody across the map for potentially, to potentially win the game. It's a really strong ability. So when you start combining that, with the meta at that time, there's a lot of characters that are just like, we already know you're good. Like, Vet Hyperion. I mean, he's boss. And you also have characters like your outliers, like Super Scroll, who, was a high cost, but you put 3 feats on him and he's like nigh unstoppable. You just can't kill him. I think they calculated it down that you had Like, if you got him to click 3, I think that's the main click that he was on. Between, I think it's is it sabotage? I forgot what it was. I think there was like a combination of 3 feats. It's been years, people, over 10. So bear with me. There was camouflage and 2 others. You just couldn't hit him. You just could not. Like the calculated percent was like of hitting him was like 8 to 5% chance of hitting him. Because he had like combat reflexes, a 20 defense, the average attack is 9. So you have to roll 11 or higher. Plus he had shape change and the scroll's team ability and something else. So you had to pulse wave him to do anything to him. And pulse wave really wasn't that popular. But sort of going back, the game was sort of hitting this stagnancy. And so the idea of not having HeroClix 2.0 was apparent because of what happened to Mage Knight. And for those people who don't know Mage Knight, it was OG WizKid's other side project that was making them a crap ton of money before HeroClix came along. And in all honesty, a lot of mechanics that we see in today, such as like relics and equipment and other stuff like that, it came from Mage Knight. Mage Knight had like little tack-on things that were worth, $50 to $60, and it's a little tiny piece of plastic, the size of like Harley Quinn's hammer. But so I digress. But what happened is when they introduced special powers made the game alive again, because now you have characters who have super strength and smoke cloud, or like if we go back that far and we look at Avengers, and we look at, Red Skull? Yeah, Red Skull. Red Skull, even though everyone said he was overcosted, and he was, he introduces you to the concept of multiple powers being on one click. And so for a period, he was sort of strong. Definitely on Hydra team. But yeah, the Red Skull can use Outwit, Perplex, and Probability Control. When this power is used, roll 1d6 after action resolve when applicable. On a result of 1 through 3, deal 1 unavoidable damage to Red Skull. Now, his damage value is crap, and he's 7 clicks, so he's sort of built to take a couple of hits. And you're encouraged to use all these abilities because there's nothing to stop you. Okay, there's nothing to stop you to say, like, it doesn't say pick one. You can use all of these. And so you have situations like that where the special powers are really weak. Like, really weak. And then you get the Spider-Man from this set. 111 points, probably one of the best sculpts you have of that Civil War Spider-Man. I think it's Civil War? Yeah, it's Civil War. He has that robot suit with the 3 arms and stuff. You have Spider-Man can use Incapacitate, but if the attack succeeds against a target with 0 action tokens, give the target 2 action tokens instead of 1. So everybody was like, stunning blow that dude, but if you look at most of like the special powers early on, it was just inflating the cost of most of the characters like to stupid. Like that Spider-Man isn't worth 111 points. All right. And that was the thing. But people were excited. Okay, you fast forward a little bit. I think it's, what was it, Crisis? I think Crisis introduces us to traits. I'm not fully on it, people. Like I said, I'm sick. Because I thought that Chase Superman had a trait. No, I guess I was wrong. No, I guess I was wrong. Was it World's Finest? Yeah, Hero, it is Crisis. Yeah, I was right. World's Finest has a trait. Yeah, World's Finest has a trait, and I thought, yeah, and one of the Chase Supermans does have a trait as well. I think it's the Earth 2 one that doesn't take pushing damage. Yeah, so what happens is that now all of a sudden we're introduced to traits in Crisis. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, powers that can't be countered. You know, the world's going to end. And not only that, it's just people losing track of the fact that, oh yeah, I have traded super strength, which was the most common one. So the whole concept is that I should, you know, if I'm Superman, I should never not have super strength. You shouldn't be able to take away my super strength. Then it's like, you know, come on, buddy, like you can easily get hit with kryptonite. So anyway, the progression of the game really hasn't gone that much farther past that point, past Crisis, introducing traits. Now you can say with Dark Logos we have relics, Dark Logos we had team bases, Dark Logos we have Colossal Retaliation, we had, you know, all this other stuff, and truth be told, yes, but it really hasn't changed fundamentally how you look at the game. It's just like, wow, we just do this thing. Okay, cool, we do this thing. So, anyway, with the ATAs retiring, I'm a little sad. There's a lot of commentary I have on figures that just doesn't apply anymore. You know, and that's a problem. You know, like even my Joker's Wild set, the first thing that went through my head was like, well, what do you do with Merlin? Like, I bought a bunch of Merlins planning to play them at an event, and it's just like, well, I better do that before, you know, all of this, you know, hits the fan. You know, like, do I sell my Merlins now that I paid a decent amount of money for it? It's like, yeah. So, the other thing that is just sort of going into real quick is about about getting new figures from con events and from prize support. Waiting a month, I think, is a bit BS. I don't like that. Well, a month and a week, I think that's a bit much. Now, I personally feel like this should apply to con exclusives. This shouldn't apply to prize support. Now, somebody will say, it's like, what about the dink that will, whatchamacallit? They'll be like, what about the dink that goes and wins the prize and then use the prize against everybody, or he buys the prize off of eBay and he uses the prize against everybody to wax everyone? And I would say there hasn't been a prize that good since Bill, Agent of AIM. Like really, look at it. Like let's go and realistically look at it. Since WizKids has been doing monthly OP the way that they've been doing, let's just go through and look at all of the prize support that would have been broken. Okay, like let's see. Angel no, Psylocke no, Rogue no, Pete Wisdom no, Captain Britain no, Cannonball no, Spider Ham is, oh never mind, Spider-Man's Connelly, Loki, Doctor Strange, Cable, ha! You gotta be kidding me. And the new Cable just stomps the fire out of the old Cable. Wolfsbane, no. Like, well, Wolfsbane sort of. I'll give you Wolfsbane. She's going to be the new core of Don't Die. But yeah, she is. Her, whatchamacallit, Haha Joker, and Mistress Death. That's going to be your new Don't Die, like, core foundation. It's just horrible as a team. Like, it has very little synergy, and you're dependent on Mistress Death to carry your team. Scarlet Witch. I'll give you Scarlet Witch. So we're at Wolfsbane and Scarlet Witch. Venom, no. Spider-Man, no. That Spider-Man, definitely not. Nobody used him. Agent Venom, I can give it to you if you said you're using the Venom ID card. Okay, Dormammu, no. Doctor Strange, no. Ghost Rider, Blade, no. Well, Blade, maybe. Again, if you're using the ID card, that Ghost Rider, while it's interesting, is not, game-changing. Dr. Octopus, yes. Not going to front. Mysterio is too, if you know how to use him. Okay, so if we really start looking at it, there's really not that much that's like, oh my gosh, I'm game-breaking. I gotta have that piece. Like Dr. Octopus is really the only one recently that's just like, yeah, you see him show up in high-level play. Other than that, the rest of this stuff is just like, whatever. So when you look at DC, I mean, let's just look at it real fast. Like, Batman, no. Like, Sarah Rainmaker, maybe-ish. Cheshire for a brief period, but you needed to have specific things to make her work. Black Canary, again, ID card, not because you're playing her. Wonder Girl, no. Coriander, yes. Composite Superman, while the Legion of Superheroes were legal, he was boss. But now they're retired. He sucks. Lobo clone, Lobo, no. Nightwing, yes, but only again because of ID. Miss Arrowette, no. Robin, no. Arrowette, no. Deadshot, no. Amanda Waller is questionable. Martian Manhunter, again, because of the ID. Like, no one's just like, let me play 165-point Martian Manhunter to front my team. He's not a bad figure, but he can't carry. Green Arrow, yeah, for the ID. Flash for the ID. Captain Cold for the ID. Like, Firestorm, yeah, but again, for the ID. Like, you can start to see, like, Batgirl, because of the ID. Plastic Man, because of the... Well, Plastic Man, never mind. Sorry, that's the ID card. Ace, the Bat Hound, is a con exclusive. So, yeah. So, you can start to see that DC may have had a little bit more, good meta-ish characters. But realistically, when you break it down, no one is... There's nothing that's just like, I can't win a world championship without, one of these figures. Like, the Bill Agent of AIM, like I said, that was the last one that was just full-on game-breakingly stupid. Oh, I can target your highest point character, regardless of the crap that's in between me, and we have a map that has bazillions of squares of blocking terrain, so you can't reach me. But if I perplex up my range to infinity, I can shoot you from my starting area? Yeah. That was dumb. That was dumb. Anyway, you can start to see, like, just overall, like, how the game is changing. Now, the thing, like I said, is after looking at the WKOs this last month, I got to be honest with you. And did Phoenix Nest profit off of the WKOs? Heck yeah. As a group, we kicked butt. Okay, we have a bunch of tanks in house. Did the tanks in house allow for games to be won? Well, yes and no. So, like, PJ's win, he bought his tank off of somebody else who got it as a judge thing. So he didn't actually, like, just get his tank up front. But then he earned a tank later on. Okay, but did the tank change everything? Yeah. Now, why did the tank change everything? Because the freaking tank is Nightcrawler. It's Nightcrawler and Despotellis put together. And they didn't balance it. They just didn't balance it. And they didn't think about how that would affect things. Now, what I would have preferred is them just saying, hey, look, all of your con exclusives are not tournament legal. Your 2017 con exclusives are not tournament legal until after the first, after Origins. Then that way people can buy all the stuff from Origins, but it does not affect the meta. You can't just be like, well, man, I forgot my team. Let me go ahead and play Faust, and I got a battery, so I'm going to play a battery, and then let me go find the 5 probbers that I need to prob, Faust. And that happened. That legit happened. All right? So I'm just saying is that how they're looking at stuff, I feel, is a little short-sighted. But that's just more of my opinion on that. I guess for me, I'm just more frustrated about that than anything else. So, but anyway, that's it. I think I'm just gonna wrap up the show here because I'm in between tea and cold medicine right now, and everything isn't flowing like perfectly. So, all right. So you can follow me on Twitter at StarOverPod. It came from outer space. Told me, man, out in space, you don't want to get certain diseases because you'll get a little talking voice that sounds like Kermit the Frog that will speak from your armpits. Yeah. Not fun. Definitely when you're asleep. It's like Kermit the Frog here. Oh, gosh. You can email me at startingoverpodcast@gmail.com. That's startingoverpodcast@gmail.com. If you wish to opine, keep it piffy, keep it interesting. Keep it awesome, baby. Tell me what you think about the set retirement and all this other jazz. So, yeah. You can donate to the show by going to startingoverpodcast.blogspot.com. That's startingoverpodcast.blogspot.com. You can buy a Phoenix Nest t-shirt and in the description below. And what else? Oh, yeah, I think that's it. I think that is it. So, yeah, when I'm feeling better, somebody remind me to talk about the new meta of Supreme Intelligence and the teleporter. So that should be the next show, but I'm a little out of it, so who knows if I'll remember. All right, that's it. Thanks for listening, and remember, we all have to start over sometime.